Howdy, folks. During the COVID pandemic of 2020, 2021, and now 2022, after weathering months of self-quarantine, two free-spirited, liberal-minded souls, Hawkeye and Jeanne, are second-generation hippies and aging baby boomers who are still having fun. The coronavirus, COVID-19 era continued to change our lives. Physical distance and face masks are still the norm. People are exploring new ways of enduring. Lifestyles have changed. People have had to adapt to a new way of living. Things will never be the same as before. Hawkeye and Jeanne have busted loose and now are traveling in a converted cargo van as means to be self-contained. Then they publish their videos on YouTube for you to check out. Self-quarantined, safe at home, sucks. That is what Hawkeye's Tales and Trails is all about. Come and ride along with Hawkeye and Jeanne on an expedition visiting Death Valley to find out what is really going on during the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. Death Valley is a desert valley in eastern California, in the northern Mojave Desert, bordering the Great Basin Desert. During summer, it is one of the hottest places on Earth, along with deserts in the Middle East and the Sahara. Death Valley's Badwater Basin is the point of lowest elevation in North America, at 282 feet below sea level. It is 84.6 miles east-southeast of Mount Whitney, the highest point in the contiguous United States, with an elevation of 14,505 feet. That's a trip. On the afternoon of July 10, 1913, the United States Weather Bureau recorded a high temperature of 134 degrees Fahrenheit at Furnace Creek in Death Valley, which stands as the highest ambient air temperature ever recorded on the surface of the Earth. This reading, however, and several others taken in that period, a century ago, are disputed by some modern-day experts. What do you think about that? Lying mostly in Inyo County, California, near the border of California and Nevada, in the Great Basin, east of the Sierra Nevada mountains, Death Valley constitutes much of Death Valley National Park and is the principal feature of the Mojave and Colorado Deserts Biosphere Reserve. It runs from north to south between the Amargosa Range on the east and the Panamint Range on the west. The Grapevine Mountains and the Owlshead Mountains form its northern and southern boundaries, respectively. It has an area of about 3,000 square miles. The highest point in Death Valley National Park is Telescope Peak, in the Panamint Range, which has an elevation of 11,043 feet. Death Valley is a graben, a down-dropped block of land between two mountain ranges. It lies at the southern end of a geological trough, Walker Lane, which runs north to Oregon. The valley is bisected by a right lateral strike slip fault system, comprising the Death Valley Fault and the Furnace Creek Fault. The eastern end of the left lateral Garlock Fault intersects the Death Valley Fault. Furnace Creek and the Amargosa River flow through part of the valley and eventually disappear into the sands of the valley floor. Death Valley also contains salt pans. According to current geological consensus, at various times during the middle of the Pleistocene era, which ended roughly 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, an inland lake, Lake Manly, formed in Death Valley. The lake was nearly 100 miles long and 600 feet deep. The end basin in a chain of lakes that began with Mono Lake in the north and continued through basins down the Owens River Valley, through Searles and China Lakes in the Panamint Valley, to the immediate west. As the area turned to desert, the water evaporated, leaving an abundance of evaporitic salts, such as common sodium salts and borax, which were later exploited during the modern history of the region, primarily 1883 to 1907. Far out. Check out these scenes from the Furnace Creek Visitor Center. Death Valley National Park is an American national park that straddles the California-Nevada border, east of the Sierra Nevada. The park boundaries include Death Valley, the northern section of Panamint Valley, the southern section of Eureka Valley, and most of Saline Valley. The park occupies an interface zone between the arid Great Basin and Mojave Deserts, protecting the northwest corner of the Mojave Desert and its diverse environment of salt flats, sand dunes, badlands, valleys, canyons, and mountains. Death Valley is the largest national park in the contiguous United States, as well as the hottest, driest, and lowest of all the national parks in the United States. It contains Badwater Basin, the second lowest point in the Western Hemisphere and lowest in North America at 282 feet below sea level. More than 93% of the park is a designated wilderness area. The park is home to many species of plants and animals that have adapted to this harsh desert environment, including creosote bush, Joshua tree, bighorn sheep, coyote, and the endangered Death Valley pupfish, a survivor from much wetter times. UNESCO included Death Valley as the principal feature of its Mojave and Colorado Deserts Biosphere Reserve in 1984. Here is Hawkeye.
Death Valley is renowned for its colorful, complex geology, and there's a lot more to it than you're seeing here in this video. We did get a chance to see some rolling stones while we were there. Here is hard-charging woman, Califia.
That is right on, dude. It ain't no hanging matter. It is no capital crime. Please note that all information is deemed to be correct, but no guarantee that it is. Thank you for watching Hawkeye's videos. Let him know what you think. Leave a comment. Click the strange stray cat in the lower right-hand corner to subscribe. I am hard-charging pagan woman warrior queen, Califia, the hostess of Hawkeye's Tales and Trails.
So
Later.
For those who are wondering, you just passed through the village of Stone Pipe Wells in Death Valley.
Yeah, hope you didn't blink. And we're on our way to the next adventure.